All right, so let's actually talk about what the CCA-F exam is actually assessing for, because knowing this gives you that much more confidence to go ahead and actually pass the exam. So I'm going to tell you guys before we even get into this, and just to show you guys I really know this information or trying to put it to you in as plain English as possible and take off my glasses. Each and every one of these questions is asking you that this is something that's happening right now. What does Anthropic do at the end of the day? It helps automate processes. In the process of automation, we run into a lot of problems. And that's when the system essentially it breaks or it doesn't work in the way that it's intended. And even sometimes when let's just say we're trying to automate a customer success agent, it initially works out the way that we want. Somewhere, somehow, some way, it breaks down. Every answer, there's generally 4 multiple choice responses, is giving you an option of what do you think the choice is to fix something that's broken. Do you think it's option A, B, C, or D? And the best way that I want non-technical people to think about these questions is you are presented as a business owner or as a product manager or as somebody in a position of leadership or management with problems every single day that you don't have the answer to. And what you do here is you assess options and the pros and cons of each option. This is a leadership job at the end of the day. Whether you're training people, whether you're a product manager, whether you're a forward deployed engineer, and every single response basically has advantages and disadvantages. And you're weighing out the pros and the cons. And it's ultimately always trade-offs. So if it's asking something about, okay, how do we go ahead and save money on tokens, but still make sure that the quality of the output that we're getting back is still high quality? That is always a trade-off issue, right? Or can we make a case where we shouldn't even bother with it because the amount of money that we're trying to spend, the amount of money that we think we are saving, it's actually going to cost us more money later on, and things are going to go out there and get cheaper. This is the context. There is a scenario in which case this is something that's broken, and then we are trying to go and assess whether or not what is the best possible answer for this scenario. And it's going to give you some very clear responses of, we are trying to fix this, and what matters to us most is this. And that's where you should be prioritizing your response. It's what makes this exam so difficult to pass, and why a lot of people are intimidated is because all 4 responses seem like the right answer. And it just comes down to what trade-off are you willing to go ahead and make. Hopefully you felt a little bit more inspired from hearing me say that. And now I'm going to go ahead and break down for you what's the difference between a scenario and what is like the difference between the scenarios and domains. If you understand scenarios and domains, now the vocabulary is going to go ahead and make a lot more sense to you. Do you see what I just did here? I gave you a reason why we are doing something, and thus you are now building that memory layer on top of another layer. This is very fundamental for people that are in our program, whether they're a product manager, forward deployed engineer, or AI trainer, is that people's memory, they have to form some kind of memory foundation. You're talking about like if you're going to go ahead and walk lawyers, a room full of lawyers, through how to go ahead and do this for themselves, your job is not building stuff for them. Partially it is, but your job is really to go out there and empower them to build for themselves, which we'll get to a little bit more later. But now let's go ahead and talk about what are the 6 scenarios. More importantly, what are why did we go ahead and choose these 6 scenarios?